Thought that Bernardo did a good job kind of setting the tone. We would go 1-2-3 with the strikeout in the first, and I thought we came out and swung the bats like we did last week. I think we're showing that we're pretty relentless at the plate, and for some Tuesdays early on, even the ones that we won when we won at Fresno, and then the one at Fullerton we scored some, but the one at Fresno we scored 3 in 10 innings. We scored 1 or 2 at Santa Barbara, we scored 2 at Irvine, and we scored and then we scored 7 last week. And I was real pleased last week with our offense, and so I thought we had that same mentality today, and it was seeing Jeremy do what he did was huge, because we had some discussions over the last day or so just about him trying to do too much with the ball, at the plate, and I said the homers will come, and then if you just square it to the middle of the diamond, then the next thing you know, today he homered. So that was pretty nice to see. I thought he had a great game. I thought, hey, we left some runners out there. I mean, we scored 1 in the second. We have the bases loaded, nobody out. We got to be able to get more than that. And we had another opportunity with bases loaded and 1 out, and we didn't do that. But, after we gave up the run, to score a run in the 8th was big, just to tack on that extra run. And I thought, some guys that have been good for us out of the pen, then Nardo goes 5, and Perryman goes 2, and he leaves that ball up a little bit to Anderson when we're trying to go down and in, and he goes up and in, and he homers, but he settled in and got through those 2 innings, and then Paschke puts up a 0. It wasn't the prettiest 0, but he got a 0, and then Huberman went 1-2-3 in the 9th, which was nice to see. So I was excited about it. Anytime you can take a Tuesday game, I think is huge, and we all know how important every Tuesday win is at the end of the year. So.
Specifically with Jeremy, I know he's been getting on base a lot, but when he's starting to hit like that, what does it do for your lineup?
Well, it's big. I mean, because when you look at his average being 244 or whatever it was going into the day, and you're seeing everybody else around 300, I think that's a little bit of an anomaly for Jeremy, because last year I felt like every time a guy was in scoring position when he didn't do it, I was amazed, but then today, that was Jeremy, right? A line drive base hit, and then a homer because he was trying to hit a line drive base hit, and then a big hit in the 8th to go ahead. And so that's what I expect to see for him the rest of the year. I mean, his BP was totally different, and then his game was totally different. I mean, that's as well as he swung the bat this year, and I think a big part of it was because he wasn't trying to do so much. And I think, with these new balls and other guys are hitting homers and he's not hitting a homer yet, I just think he was pressing too much to try and get a homer rather than just – his game is to be just gap to gap and line drives and square balls up, and he's strong enough that the ball will go, as you saw today, with the wind blowing in, and he was able to homer. So I think it's huge because it just extends our lineup, and if we have him going and Timmy going, and then you have Bobby playing as well as he's been playing, and Stubbs is playing as well as he's been playing, and then Dante and Lacey and Oppenheim, it's a tough lineup to get through over and over and over again. And so we feel comfortable that we can put up runs, and then we're confident that the pitchers are going to hold them down and we'll play good defense. And then, like I said, and I've been saying this since day one, is that when we play well, we're in a pretty good position to win. And it doesn't matter who we play, where we play, and when we play. It's just, if we play well, we're in a position to win. When we don't pitch well and we don't play well, we generally lose.
So what do you think the biggest challenge is going on the road to begin conference play for 2 weeks?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is just being on the road. You don't have all 35 guys at your disposal. And so guys have to step up. It's a different environment. You're playing in a place that you're not used to. We're going to go play on turf for the first time this weekend. It's a lot slower feel, so the balls don't get through the infield. You play with different crowds, you play with different weather, and then we're going to go to a huge yard that the ball flies and plays hot as anything, and there's a million hits on that field in Tucson. And so it's just entirely different type of game at both places. I would expect everything to be lower scoring when we go to Seattle, and I'd expect the games, have some runs be scored between us and Arizona in Tucson. I mean, that's just kind of the way the league plays out whenever you go and play those games. I mean, you see what Arizona did. They go to Stanford and they give up 4-3 or 5-4 and 0.
Yeah, finally.
And when they played at home the week before, they gave up like 3, 9, and 8. I mean, it's a different deal when you go on the road, and you're not in your own bed. You're in a hotel. You're eating different food. So the guys just have to get into a routine and be ready to go. And you have travel involved, right? I mean, we're going to fly up to Seattle on Thursday and do that. So it's just different. But our kids have been through it. You know, we're a more veteran team than we've been in the past, and so they're used to the travel. And it's a lot of the same guys have been playing for the last 2 years, so they're used to it. And they'll rise to the challenge.